My grandma is an inspiration to my entire family. She was a role model to my mom and uncle for their entire lives and is now worshipped by my sisters and me. Her goal in life is to ensure everyone is happy and faithful. She is extremely religious and credits all her success to God. Throughout my childhood, I grew up knowing my Grammy had not had an easy life. After her parents decided they could not care for her or her sister any longer, they were put in a children's home on the south side of Chicago. One day, her parents showed up to pick what she thought was both of them up and left with only her sister. She was heartbroken and lived the rest of the painful time without a sister or friend. When she turned 16, she was released from the home, but soon found that she had nowhere to go. She was still in high school, so she had a friend that was willing to let her stay in her house until she graduated. With no word from her parents, she decided she needed someone else in her life. She befriended a boy, and soon enough they were dating. Their relationship progressed, and things became serious. Once she believed things were finally going to be okay, she found out she was pregnant. As most men would in the 1960s, this man claimed that the baby was not his because he was sterile. As I researched deeper into this problem, it became clear to me that it was a very common thing to be sterile at this time due to the drugs mothers would take at that time that would mutate the fetus. After the news erupted of the situation, she went to her parents for help. Once she told them of their story, they threw her out and sent her to the Unwood Mother's Home named Florence Crichton Anchorage. This home was in a very bad neighborhood. Once she went into labor, she was rushed to the hospital. After a very long labor, her daughter was born. That moment was ruined when she learned that by law she had to give up her daughter for adoption. After that day, she was alone. She had to buy an apartment using all the money she had saved for the baby and get a full-time job. High school was not an option, and she soon dropped out. She called these the hardest years of her life. My grandma grew up and moved to Los Angeles, where she met another man and had 2 children with, these being my mom and uncle. She was still not done searching. She had hired an investigator, and once she came into some wealth, continued the mad search. One day, we were all sitting on the front patio. I was on the swing, my mom tanning on the lawn chair, and my grandma drinking some lemonade, when we heard the phone ring. Naturally, we believed it was either my dad or one of my grandma's friends. We were so wrong. This was the call my grandma had been waiting for almost 30 years. They had found her daughter. Her name was Kimberly Ann, and she lived in Texas. My grandma decided to demand all the information, and soon enough we were all hovered in the kitchen, dialing our aunt, sister, or daughter's phone number. After a long 2-hour conversation, my aunt had to take it down to LA in a settled stomach, knowing her biological mother had finally found her. That night, my grandma told me all the wonderful things my mom did for me that she was not able to do for Kimberly. I was a young 3 years old at this time, so I didn't quite understand, but now I do. I appreciate my mom every day now. Thanks, Grammy.